My good friend Barrett Edelstein joins us now. Welcome back to Nova, and welcome onto your slot, the Celeb Savant.
Thank you, as always, for having me.
I'm welcoming you to your own slot. This is an interesting one. You were surprised when I knew who you were talking about.
Yes, actually, I was.
Yeah. So Robbie Rivera is a name that pops up in dance music and in house music, etc., etc. Not often, but has done in the past. He's done remixes and been very involved in that kind of culture and that club scene. So I was interested to hear that you had reached out to him to do an interview.
Exactly.
Tell us.
So I can't remember exactly how he came into my periphery or sphere of like, oh, I want to interview you. I do remember. Came back to me. He did a remix of one of E17's songs.
There you go.
They had a newer release at the time, and he did the remix. I was like, oh, this guy looks interesting. So I reached out to him, and originally he was a bit like hesitant to do the interview, and then we did it, and we had a fat chat as always. But the reference that I focus on for this specific topic of discussion was he wanted to try and figure out how to do mixing, and he had... he didn't come from a wealthy family, so he had the equipment that he had at the time that he could use. And then it just came, just by him practicing and him doing, he figured it out. He figured out how to do mixing. So should we listen to the clip?
Yeah, I think so. Let's hear how he embarked on his DJ career.
So then eventually they got me a better turntable, 2 turntables, and I was mixing 2 songs, just playing with them. And suddenly they were both on the same beat. And it was a track from Erasure and a track from New Order. And they were all perfectly synced together. I'm like, whoa, that's how they do it. So you have to put the kick drum with this kick drum at the same time and keep it there without even moving around, and use the pitch to keep it there perfect. And that's the art of mixing.
Just by doing and by practicing, he's ended up being a bit of a legend.
Yeah.
I would imagine he's booked for a lot of gigs now. Well, still today.
Yeah.
Maybe he's past his prime, but he's very involved in the scene, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely. And all the artists that I interview, I add them as my favorites on Spotify.
Yeah.
And every single week on my because on Fridays you get your list of new releases from your favorites. Almost every week or every 2 weeks, he's got a new song out. So he's busy.
Yeah, he's first and foremost, I think I stand to be corrected. You're the one that's chatted to him, but he's a producer and he's a musician first and foremost, and then he kind of stumbles into this DJ scene.
Yeah.
I love how he just put it all together in his mind. Obviously, he's got a musical ear, so to match the beats together, and suddenly he was like, "Oh,
yes,
this is how it sounds."
Yeah.
And as someone who's done it for many years, I understand that it's like riding a bicycle. Once you've learned it, you're like, of course this is the way it works. I love that.
Well, from my side, like learning editing for the podcast, I remember the first edit I was shown. I was like, okay, I get the idea, but this is going to be quite okay. And the first edit I got was for a 45-minute interview. And I thought, okay, this will take me 2 hours. 9 hours later, I was still sitting there, busy trying to figure this out. And I was like, But now, gratefully, I've gotten it down to less than 2 hours. I now do about an hour and a half for an edit. So.
Yeah, as I say, it's like riding a bicycle.
Yeah.
Barrett's online and available on all the socials except for X or Twitter and all the other minor ones give us your username there.
Celeb Savant, so that's CELEB, Savant, SAVANT.
And don't forget that the full podcast with Robbie Rivera, if you like your house music, go and give it a listen up at nova.com.na under the blog section. Thanks, Barrett.
Thank you.